Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing alright. So I said this a lot before, but I get new subscribers and people watching. So for those that don't know, this addiction thing that I've had going on in my life has been something that's been going on for 20 years. So I started when I was like 17 and I'm 36 now. Oxycontin, finding it underneath my mother's sink and stealing it. I did that for years, man. And then from oxys, it venched off into methadone and morphine and Percocet and whatever I could get my hands on. It is what it is, man. Looking back, it's no good way to live, but at the time, that seemed to be a good idea. And when you're young like that and you have all this energy, you're not thinking about how bad this is gonna fuck your life up, because I'll be honest with you, a large part of my life, I'm always uncomfortable. I'm always unhappy. I don't feel like I fit in. I don't feel good about shit. Like, yeah, playing around, having fun, that would be kind of cool, but nothing. I never found any type of talent. I never found any type of group. I never found any type of organization that I could really feel good about putting my all into. And I think that's part of the reason why I've always had such a void. And that's why I've had such a desire to get high, is because getting high would do what having an organization like that could possibly do for somebody, or being a part of something larger than yourself, like having a friendship that's more than just having fun. It's something that's sacred. We've lost our sacredness here in America. And I grew up in a big city, in the suburbs, and I ran with like a crowd of like 30, 40, 50 of us who were all kind of doing this, like troublemakers, getting high and doing various different mischievous things like that. So anyway, that's just my, it's the way I was brought up, man. My parental guidance was, both my parents worked, and my dad did sell me Oxycontin when I was like 19, so he wasn't the best example for just a father. It wasn't quite the best father figure. I still think he didn't really want to have kids, but that's not really the point. Although it's good, it's an important thing. If you choose to have children, you should really want to have children. Like, I think it's important that, and if you don't, then maybe you should try to find somebody else to help out with the child. Because, when somebody's like forced to do anything when they really don't feel like doing it, but they're forced to, or they're compelled to, they're manipulated to, it's not gonna have the purest effect. So when you're dealing with life, that's a very sacred thing that you should be try to find as much purity to help feel that as you can. But anyway, yeah, that's me, man. I've got a propensity for a lot of destruction, and I have a propensity for a lot of creation. So I've spent a lot of time destroying myself. That's why another reason why I don't feel is, I'm not really afraid of others, because it's like, dude, I know, until you know what it's like to live in here, like other shit, really, it's intense in here, man. The war, the struggle that rages on inside myself, the things I do to myself, the type of spirits I get hit with, shit is intense. Like emotional pain to me is way more challenging than physical pain. So like getting hit in the face, getting socked, getting a bruise, getting a scrape, that's like surface damage, man. It's cosmetic. It's easily healed. But when you wound somebody in their heart, when you're doing things that are wounding your own heart over and over and over and over and over again, and you have no idea how to get out, that type of shit is tough. So I got to remind myself that, because a lot of people look at me being 36, living with my parents and all this and that, and they'll just look at me like I'm a piece of shit. And it's like, man, you don't know. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. You guys have not lived my life. You don't know what it feels like. And so you really don't have any relatability, unless you do, and then we can relate. But most people who judge me like that are people that have never been through the type of shit that I've been through. So, I'm sorry, I got this text from somebody who was talking about how, do you think a good woman's gonna want a guy who's full of shit? And she was referring, I think it's a she, I'm not sure, but the person was referring to how I talked about how, you know, for 2 weeks I didn't have a bowel movement. And yeah, I mean, that's, you know, that's obviously very disturbing and gross on many different levels, even though it's been over 5 years. But for her to say it like that, it's like, man, you know, I mean, I'm a dude who's, you know, was an addict, was addicted to things that had side effects. And it's just sad to see that, you know, that's their interpretation of a good woman. A good woman is basically somebody who's going to say, fuck this dude who really needs help. I'm going to go find somebody who I like better, who suits me better, who makes me feel better. Is that really what a good woman is? A good woman should be virtuous. A good woman should be there for those who are in pain. A good woman should try to help heal instead of just neglect and deter and move away. But most females have lost their sense of what a good woman is, in my opinion. I hardly ever see it. And a lot of times when I do, it's just little bits here and there. You know, it's interesting how it's a man who's coming here and telling you guys that we need to develop systems to feed the children. You'd think that'd be more of a female thing, but it's not, because the world is so fucked up right now, you know? It's also fucked up that it is somebody like me, an addict, who spent 20 years killing themselves, who's also the one who seems to be most focused on creating an actual society to help everybody else. That's kind of fucked up too, but it's fitting for the times we're in. So, anyway, sorry I got a little heated right there, but, you know, the messages got me a little going. Even though that same person has showed a lot of care in certain areas, I appreciate that, but that one little thing about the good woman, it's not even her. That's generally how society probably sees things. Like, a lot of females would probably think that about me, and it's just it's a little sad, but it is what it is, man. And at the end of the day, if that's what's going to push you away from me, then good. I'm glad it's out there and in the open, and you know who I am and I know who you are, because I don't want a woman who's not going to want to help me out whatever I got to do. Just like I want to be there for her in every way that I have to be, I want the same from a woman. So I still have not found a woman who really wants to be there for me. I just haven't, because otherwise I'd know about it, you know. If I'd come across it and they'd have seen it and they'd have that desire, we'd be communicating, but we're not, which is fine. Things are fucked up right now. So it is what it is, you know, and I still feel like me and Joy have the highest potentiality for connection, but there's a lot of things that aren't aligning with her too. So I don't know, you know, I think she's lost sense of what it means to be a good woman, personally. And I've lost sense of what it means to be a good man. I mean, on some things. On other things, I think I'm hitting the mark, but on some things, I'm off, and I think she's off too. We both have things to learn and grow from. But again, you know, she continues to kind of perpetuate confusion, in my opinion, because, you know, there's these signs and these things I see, but yet she doesn't follow through with an actual text to my phone number, which is, you know, I know Joy. I've heard her speak for hundreds of hours, and whenever she's interested in a dude, she's pretty good about letting it be known to that dude. So the fact that she hasn't let it be known to me, you know, is confusing, kind of. And it also means that she doesn't really maybe know herself that well, because it's like she's being compelled by a force that she doesn't fully understand, but it's very strong, and it continues to get on her about stuff. But because she's got this other side to her too, that's fighting that other side, and that side's not going to want this side to win. It's this fluctuational thing. This is where you get things like schizophrenia and personality disorders, and it's really just spiritual fluctuations with inside the person. You know, her angel may have sway one moment, and then her demon may have sway, you know. So until she figures out a way to pick one over the other, that's really what it's got to be, then she's going to forever be conflicted, as anybody is in that situation. So, yeah, y'all take care, all right? Bye.